A year ago, I did my first state short range championship. I've tried to avoid the full distance championships because they tend to go for 2 days and then 90 meters. And I'm like, 90 meters. But short range is 60 meters and under, so that's more comfortable distance for me to shoot. And I've had quite a few people wanted to shoot the short range. We had the largest field yet in Victoria. I believe there were over 185 entries, and they had to change the format of the round to get that number of people on the shooting line. Originally, I believe it was an Adelaide round. They changed it to a Canberra round, which is a FITA 900. And that's a much shorter round. It's 60, 50, 40 meters, 30 arrows each, so 90 arrows. But the plan was to get the open divisions shooting in the morning, finish by noon, and get the juniors and seniors shooting the afternoon, which worked well. It was a very fast shoot, which is great. I think most prefer short shoots rather than long whole day affairs. And Diamond Valley Archers did a great job of hosting the event. So again, thanks DVA. Fantastic facilities, great lunch, great afternoon tea, and great ceremony at the end. So love the event. Now, on my side, I actually had quite a few personal goals dating from the previous year. I didn't realize it, but this is kind of like the last major state event for the season because we're now getting into autumn. It's winter coming up in a few months, so the outdoor season is effectively done. There's still field and clout and indoor, but the outdoor season, which I primarily shoot in, is basically finished. So I'm kind of coming out a little deflated after realizing that this is basically it for another 6 months or so. So I need to find a way to carry that momentum and that hunger for the next few months before we start competing again. So looking back at the last state championship, I can't remember exactly what I did, but I remember I was a bit too tense and didn't really enjoy it as much. I'm slowly beginning to enjoy myself a lot more in these tournaments. I remember coming into this tournament, I had a very negative mindset. A lot of things were happening. I was very stressed from work and from other archery business. And I had a very negative mindset about wanting to, like change my role in archery and kind of tone down a bit of some things I do. But waking up in the morning, I went from being a bit negative to actually being excited about the tournament. So I was actually very happy to be there. And it was great to get in touch with a lot of the people I met from other state tournaments. It's good to see familiar faces. And one of the things they did in this tournament was that they changed the shooting order around. Normally you shoot against people of your own classification, your own division, but they randomized the entry. So you still competed against people in your division, but you didn't share a target with them. So you ended up having a target with a compound shooter and a Rico shooter and a barebow shooter and a longbow shooter. And it was actually really good because you could see different people shoot, and every style of archer has their own personality traits or characteristics. So, we had Mr. Compound who was like dead serious about giving 10s and 9s. It was kind of kicking himself not getting a 10. And then you had like the high level Rico archer who was doing a great job being assistant. There was me, I'd shoot a really weird grouping on one blue section, and the next time I shoot like an all gold. And we had a barebow guy who was really enjoying himself. He was really happy, and he beat me by a few points actually. So he's actually quite a good shooter. Well, I'm a really bad shooter, but either way, I remember to my left. You've seen my my footage from the tournament. There's a guy on my left, a few places down, who's shooting a longbow. And I remember on the line, you're surrounded by people with high-powered bows, like high-poundage recurve and combat bows, going, and then every now and then you hit it, boom, and then whoosh. And we just flop into the target, and it sounded completely unlike anything on the line. So it was nice to see this long, lovely arcing shot every few seconds. So it was nice to it was very nice to kind of mingle again. Something I do miss about shooting in state tournaments is just the large number of people who were there, and of course, going to few people there are my viewers too. So it's nice saying hi to you guys, or kind of being around you guys who just say hi to you. And yeah, I really look forward to the future state events. In terms of personal achievements, one of the things which really bothered me the day before was I recently got new vanes. They're the XS wings, chrome red, and they're fantastic, by the way. They look really sleek, nice sports car finish. But the week before, I was tearing a whole bunch, and I mean, obviously, when you spend money on getting new vanes and you spend time fletching them. It's agonizing to see your money, your hard work get ripped up by bad clearance. So I was very unhappy with that. So what I did, I spent the day before doing a tune of my bow. Now, you normally wouldn't do this the day before a tournament. You'll kind of want to leave things as they are. I really felt I had to fix this because if the clearance issue, I'm going to tear more vanes. I'm going to have like ruined arrows for the tournament, and obviously it's not going to be very accurate because something's collided on the way. And after a bit of tuning the draw up and down a few times and adjusting the brace height, we finally figured out it was the plunger button that was way too stiff. So we wound it down quite a bit, so it's nice and soft. And that meant recalibrating the sights, but we managed to get the bow shooting without tearing a single fletch. And on the day of the tournament, the fact that I didn't tear a single fletch, this is exactly what it looked like after the event, I think that was a good win. That was a nice way to test your bow's tune. When you have that confidence in your bow's tune and your bow's and your sight settings, then it's a lot more comfortable to shoot. And again, this is some of the differences that we talked about with the bearbow shooter. He was quite happy shooting as it was. He shot better than I did. He was not stressed out by sight settings and didn't adjust anything. Simply just raise the bow and shoot. So the traditional bearbow shooters definitely had an advantage in that sense. If you're shooting the freestyle, the classification with the sights and stabilizers, then you really want to make sure your bow is set up to shoot the way you want it to shoot. And I found that after the event, arrows were fine, bow was fine, and that was a good technical victory. In terms of my actual performance on the day, I finished 9th out of a field of around 15. Now, there were a couple of people who didn't shoot, so still top 10 finish. The numbers don't matter. It's more that I think I shot the way I felt I should have shot. It was at the level I was expected to shoot at. I did go up a classification, so I was well and truly in the division I was meant to be in. They didn't give the classification trophy, so no second, third class or no red, blue class. But I felt like I topped my level. When I looked at the scores, and you've seen the recurve compound comparison, my score was basically in the tier, at the top of the tier that I was going to be at. So out of 900, I scored, 683 or something. And that's in the high 600s. My next goal is 700. So there's like an 80-point gap between my score and the guy above me. So clearly there is a tier division there. And my goal from now on is to climb up those ranks, get those higher ratings, and become more of a contender. I know the guys below me who I beat, there was a pretty comfortable margin along the way, like 20 points each slot. And incidentally, these people were the ones I specifically wanted to beat from the last tournament. I looked at the ranking list and say, I can beat this guy, I can beat this guy. So I wasn't going against these people directly. I mean, you're still going against yourself. But I felt that my performance on the day actually allowed me to beat my goals. These are the people who were ranked above me, and now I feel I'm capable of overtaking them. And it was a personal best too. It was a comfortable personal best. I beat around 20 points, I believe, which is pretty good. Of course, a lot more to do. I still want to get like 100 points to become competitive. I'm still way off there, but slowly getting there. But I think most importantly, it felt good on the day. I felt that my 60-meter range was still uncomfortable. I didn't spend much time shooting at 60 meters. My sight settings were fine, but I didn't have the feeling right. And not having that muscle memory and that sight picture kind of threw me off. And then by the end, I managed to get it confident. At 50 and 40 meters, I was far more confident, which is great. I normally struggle in these distances. I really held together there. And especially at the 40 meters, I felt like all I had to do was basically raise the bow and just whomp it down. It was not a matter of fluking it. There was no random number generator. I felt more confident that at 40 meters, I could reliably hit gold, and I did. There were some cases where I had some really bad releases, but I knew as long as I raised the bow and did the shot, it would go through and hit the gold. And I think that's a level which I've been working really hard over the last few months to achieve, is that confidence that my technique is fine, my form is fine, my equipment is fine. It all comes down to executing the shot the way I've done it thousands of times. And I think in this tournament, I've probably spent more time preparing for it than ever before. Now, it wasn't great preparation. The whole week where I did nothing, I had no time for it. But normally I'd be like last minute, site settings, and I think this time I was ready to go weeks in advance. So I think that hard work has paid off. I have reached that breakthrough and that milestone, and I think in future tournaments I'm going to hopefully be more of a contender rather than the guy who fills in the blank spaces. So looking forward to our next tournament. Not sure when that will be. I mean, next year will be the next championship, but there are other events happening throughout the year. I would like to have a go at 90 meters. That sounds pretty scary to me, but most of our next few tournaments in spring will be long distance, so hopefully I can give it a shot. Anyway, I hope you find it interesting, guys. Thanks for watching. This is NUSensei, and I'll see you next time.